So I'm about to go back out to work on Nellie. I've just finished a week-long big global festival with my company, and I actually really expected that today I was just going to want to lay on the sofa and do absolutely nothing. It's been a long week with long days for work, but actually it's beautiful outside today. It's another spring day and I want to get out there and do some more work. I've given myself a bit more of a deadline now to, haven't we, Harper? There she's come up to say hello. Give myself a bit more of a deadline now to get Nellie done. I'm hopefully going to be planning a trip to mainland Europe in the summer months, sort of the early summer, kind of end of June, beginning of July. And I want to be able to take her over the sea and actually drive around in her. So I've got to crack on. Today's jobs that I'm going to be looking at is I've started some of the framing out now. I need to board out the garage area at the back, so that's the bit that goes underneath the bed, so that then some of the electrics can be finished or progressed. And then I think my next job that I'm going to move on to, might not get onto that today, but the next job probably this weekend is to fit some dead bolts that I've bought. So I've got additional locks for every single door to add some extra security to the van as well. So I've got all of those, got a new tool to use for those, and I'm just going to get on and crack on and really enjoy the nice weather and enjoy not having to work at all this weekend. So, because the last few weekends I've had to do a little bit, so it's nice to get back out there again. So out we go. Oh, but first, as always, a cup of tea. So before I start, and while I wait for my all-important cup of tea to cool down, I thought I'd just update you on to where I am with the van and what I've currently got up to, and just show you what's what. And I've got a few furry friends keeping me company with this part of the tour. So Monty would like to show you what has been done so far. So far, let's update. We've got the floor down. You can see that all underneath there. So the floor's all fitted out. The trims are all done around the edges of the floor and the matting has been put down. We now have one max air fan there. Above me right here is the solar panel. And so those are the cables that are coming in from the solar panel. We have a second max air fan, which is the one that goes above the bed. And of course we've got windows in. This window was leaking before, that's now been fixed. So that's all good and watertight. And everything's just starting to work. So what I've done now is these buttons here that you can see mark the width of the bed going across the back. So that is basically going to be the size of the garage as well. So now I can start to frame out the garage. And one of the first things that I'm doing is framing the wheel arches. So I'll show you on this one, I've already attached a rear batten here on top of each of the wheel arches. And I'm attaching side battens as well, and then I'm building these frames to go around them. Everything in a van is not straight, so even though that little box there is perfectly 90 degrees at every corner, it's actually not quite 90 degrees when it attaches, because of course the back batten's not quite straight, but it's not too bad. It's good enough that once I cover that in ply, it's not actually going to show and be a problem, so that'll all be absolutely fine. Other things I've done since we last spoke, I've learnt how to use the pocket hole jig to be able to do pocket holes in things, and of course the other thing that's been done as well is we've had the first fix of the 240 volt electrics. So the blue cables that you can see everywhere around, there's a few of them dotted about, they are the 240 volt electric pot points. We've got a couple more dotted around in different places, and they're there for any of the things that I want to fit with 240 volts, which are things like plug sockets for my laptop. I've got an induction hob going in, and it's mostly just plug sockets and the induction hob. Some people will build a whole van without using 240 volts at all and just rely on 12, but I wanted to have both. Especially because I've got good battery setup that I've got coming in, so I can get away with it. So he's probably going to keep me company most of the day, keep an eye on the world, and we're going to crack on. I'm going straight out into the workshop to finish making the second one of these. that's my 2 frames now built for the wheel arches, so I can now go in and start to put them into place. So I've got a little bit more of a framing to do in the van, and then I can attach these, and then the plan is to then clad them in plywood, and then start cladding the walls around it in plywood as well, so that I'm framing out the whole of the garage area. So good progress. That took me, I don't know, 40 minutes maybe at most, probably even less than that. So back out into the van now. I feel like I've actually made really good progress today. So I've, you maybe can't see it so well because of the light, but I've framed out all around the wheel arches and the framing for the garage area, and I've done that for both sides. So you can see the other side is done as well. So they are now ready to be clad, and then I can start building the front frame and start thinking about the bed frame as well in there, which is pretty cool. I'm actually starting to feel like I'm making a little bit of progress now, and I've really enjoyed today. I love working with timber, so it makes me very, very happy to be doing the framing part and the woodwork part of this. A bit more in my comfort zone working with timber than working with the metalwork side of things. So yeah, good day. Only about 3 hours work. It's quite a lot achieved, I feel, in that 3 hours. Feels like I've made a big leap forward. And now it's time to go and walk my doggies. So what you've been seeing me do here is framing out and finishing to frame out everything. So now this is in place. So now we have a permanent divide, so that's going to be the side of the bed. And then this is all the garage area ready to start being clad, which is pretty exciting. You probably saw me in the video there fitting the fridge, which goes in this space here. And then what's going to happen is there's actually going to be a table in here. It's going to be like on runners, so the table will slide out into the into like the seating area, kitchen area there. So I'm really excited. This is just it's so solid. It's coming together really, really well. Now I'm going to move on to the cladding. I'm just going to say at this point, I actually changed my mind about how to clad the garage area. I was going to do it in plywood, and I changed my mind and decided that I would do it in tongue and groove instead. So here you can see me putting out some of the thinner tongue and groove. So how I've done the garage is on the side walls of the garage, the areas that eventually all of the electrics are mounted to. It's actually done with a much thicker tongue and groove. It's actually floorboards. But the tongue and groove that you can see me doing here is much thinner. It's only about 8mm thick, just to keep it nice and lightweight, given that nothing really is going to be hanging off of those floorboards.